Good morning. Today is Sunday, February 11th, 2024, and this is the weekly Bitcoin price forecast, looking at where Bitcoin went in the past week and where it could potentially go in the future. So right now, we are on the monthly chart. I'll just leave the drawings on at this point. February has come out the gate strong. Like January was very indecisive with the Bitcoin ETF. Like the first half of the month was like, oh my God, are we going to actually get approved on January 11th? I think it was January 11th. So half the month was figuring out, are we going to get approved? And then the second half of the month was like the shock waves that come afterwards, the volatility that comes after the ETF approval, the up and down, the selling, the buying. And now we've kind of mellowed out. A lot of that selling is over with. I told people like these sellers were going to run out of ammo in a couple of weeks, and here we are. So February, like I said, came out the gate. Long-term resistance. This zone that I've been talking about from all the way back here. From 2021? Yeah, this zone that came all the way here has been tested twice, once in January, and now it looks like it's blowing through in February. So there's not going to be too much more to contend with. And like I said, once you get on the other side of this, it's going to continue to go to the upside. Like there's not too much stopping it at that point. So looking at, again, since we touched this zone, I think we will have a pullback. Even if we break it, you're going to have a pullback probably one more time to about midway through this candle. And then another shoot up, but we'll see. We will see. On the weekly chart, you have, again, we've had this long-term ascending channel that took us from September to really December to break out of. It took us from September to December. So, September of 22 to December of 23. So about a little over a year at that point. And then I've had the same drawing since December 4th at this point. Like nothing really has changed in my mind. But now I think that's coming to an end. Like we're about to see a little bit more movement. The volatility is there. The momentum is there at this point. It's going to be good 2024 for sure. Year of the dragon. Let's go to the daily chart. Again, we've been in this zone for so long. You have this ranging really. So like there was a trend line that was building at first up to the ETF release. You got the news right here on January 11th. You shot up, almost tested 50K, but didn't quite. And then ended up shooting down to the downside. This is where the selling began. I was telling people for a while that this zone was not going to break. This $40,000 zone at this point, that was pretty strong. Again, you had not only 40,000 right there, you had this big demand zone. You had the upward channel that we've been talking about that's been there for about a year and a half. You had this is the 100 moving average, this purple one. So all that's a lot of strength in that area, a lot of support that was holding price up. And then as you see right here, ever since then, it's just been like a quick rocket off, then a pause, then a quick rocket off, and then just continuing on to the upside at this point. So I think it's going to be a fantastic February for sure. And then like you think about it, we're going into the halving period in mid-April. So really at this point, about 2 months away from the halving. So there is going to be a lot more hype around Bitcoin. I think I saw something the other day that said BlackRock and Fidelity had the two largest ETF releases in the last 30 years. Like that's impressive. That's very impressive. I'm talking billions of dollars in a matter of a month at this point. Yeah, because it's actually a month away from when the ETF was released. It is February 11th, and that got released on January 11th. So taking a look here, let's go even deeper. Go to the 4-hour chart, and really all you see here, all you're going to see on the 4-hour chart is basically a series of pauses and stop and go. That's really all it is, stop and go. So it's like you have this period of consolidation here. You have a come right there, like consolidate, then drop. And then you have another one right here. Consolidate for a little bit. Really, you could do it like that. Another cone, consolidate, drop. You have another one. This is really all it is. Like, honestly, it's a series of like stop and go. You just got to know when to go. Like when we get to the edge of that cone, it's and then drop. And then you have another one. You have here, and you have here, and then it's a raise to the upside. Smaller one here. Another one right here. You literally just sit here all day and draw triangles. Go to the upside. You have one that you could say went from right here to right here. And then you shot to the upside. And really, you could even do it at like the smaller time frame too. You have one right here and right here, and then it goes to the upside. You're starting to form one right here too. It's like this is super bullish in my opinion. Like it is absolutely slicing through this, and even to note, this is the highest daily close that we've had in a while. So like you made a higher high for sure. Either way it goes, you made that higher high. At least from a closing perspective. Right now we haven't hit this point just yet, but we're getting there. We're getting there. Yeah, it's going to happen at this point. Even if you have a pullback, let's say down to here. And I didn't even talk about this trend line really. So again, it was following this trend line, this bouncing motion, and it just blew through that. Like I thought like it blew through down like to the downside, and then coming up, you thought you might have seen a rejection right here, but you absolutely didn't. It just continued to move on to the upside. But what else does that leave? Yeah, no, that's pretty much it. I mean, I don't have to go all the way down to the 1 hour, but let's go to looking at Bitcoin, just to see if there are any interesting metrics that we could point out. Take a look here. I don't want to look at the miners. Realized price. Let's look at that. So this is ticking up to the upside. So the realized price is the price that people last moved their Bitcoin at. So like the average price of all Bitcoin that people moved theirs at last was like 22,000, but it was at a certain point 20,000. So that is creeping up, meaning that people are starting to take profits at this point. They're starting to take profits. So as soon as they do, like that'll move, or at least I think it's. What does it say? Yeah, when they were last transacted on chain, that's what the realized price is. So that means that there is movement in Bitcoin, not necessarily that they're selling, but there is movement at this point. And once the money starts moving, that's when people start making money for sure. Price forecast tools. Yeah, this is let me see, was at the bottom. CBD, you have a top cap, which is in the blue, delta top, which is in the purple, and then your terminal price. So this is just like some projections to where it could go. This is saying 120, potentially. Well, the top cap is saying like actually 326, which I was projecting about 250 by the end of 2025. So yeah, I don't know. That's something to look forward to. I just like to go into look into Bitcoin, at least once a week, just to kind of look at some of the metrics. And it really kind of gives you, like, all of them are really saying around this time was like the best time to buy Bitcoin. If you were paying attention to this website for sure, you would have known months and months ago that this was going to go up. But it's a good tool. Like they have a lot of, I think about like 48 or 50 different metrics that you can look at for Bitcoin. And that's the beautiful part. Like everything's on chain. So it's public at this point. You can see the movement of money, which is something that we don't really have with, traditional finance right now. So it's accessible, I would say. But I don't have too much more than that. Again, this has been Chris Talks Crypto. Check out any crypto-based resources on christalkscrypto.com, and I will see y'all on the moon. Happy Super Bowl Sunday. Take care.